Hey everyone, welcome back to Ontario Gardening. Today we are just going to take you quickly through our raised garden beds and see where everything is at compared to when we planted on camera with you in the last couple weeks. It is the first week of June. It is 39 degrees out here with the Humidex, so this isn't going to be a long video because it's hot. But we are going to show you those things that we planted back in April, and then some of the things that we planted over May 2 for, and just kind of give you an idea of how things grow and just kind of take you on a little journey through my raised garden beds. Yeah, they're not huge, but I mean, I have more than most, so for that I am super grateful. I have an outdoor space that I can enjoy in the summer and that I can garden in and start homesteading in, and eventually maybe one day we're going to have a massive property with lots of gardens, but for now we are in suburbia and this will do. So here are those apple trees the dwarf apple trees that we planted here in the containers. They are doing quite well. I've had to completely restake them just due to the wind, and they're getting pretty top heavy. The other one on the other side actually has flowered and since deflowered, so that's pretty cool. They're doing fairly well. I've been giving them lots of water and fertilizing those. So yeah, just show you here. Like, they're doing very well. I didn't think we were going to see more than just some twigs this year, so this is quite surprising and quite fun. We've just got some hanging baskets, and then over here, all of this in this herb ladder is all basil. And the reason I did all basil was because we do tomato canning, sauce canning, salsa, things like that. So we use basil a lot, and it's quite expensive if you're buying basil at the grocery store to fill those jars with. So all of this is basil. So we continue on here. Our beds are just along the fence. We've got some experimental beans. I put these here just towards the end because I didn't want them in with all of our beans that we harvest for the winter. So we've got rows of purple beans and tongue of fire beans. And tongue of fire beans are basically white beans with red spots on them. They're really cool, so I'm hoping that those grow well. These are a little, you can't really see them, but these are green onions. So they take a little bit, but they're coming. So we've got a couple rows of green onions beside these onions. I don't know if you remember these onions. These are the ones that we planted at the end of May in my what can you plant, sorry, at the end of April in the what can you plant in early spring video. These are doing awesome. They're growing large. They're exactly what you want to see. And you know, people kind of wonder, well, when are you going to harvest them? Well, harvesting onions is when you start to see, so you can see here, once you start to see the top of the onion bulb come out and these start dying off, that's when you're going to want to harvest. But that's not going to be for a little bit. But that's just to show you that they did survive and everything's good. Here we have carrots. So the carrots are, I don't know about the carrots. I did trench gardening this year for the very first time, as opposed to putting single little seeds with the carrots and spacing them out. I dug a trench and then I sprinkled them in, and that was in the same video as the onions. Now, I don't love how it turned out, and I don't think I'm going to do trench gardening again for a couple of reasons. Look at the spaces where things didn't germinate. So I hate that. That drives me absolutely bananas. Like, that looks so bad. And it was a waste. And then we're also wasting here because now I have to thin all of these out, and I'm going to be thinning a lot and wasting a lot of seeds that could have gone over here. So in the future, I don't think I'm going to do trench gardening, but I just wanted to try this year. It was an experiment. We've got our bee house up here. I added these cute little bees from the greenhouse this year. And then here we've got, these are all green beans. Green beans are huge in my house. We actually freeze our green beans. We don't bother canning them. We freeze them, and we can, the nice thing with blanching and freezing them is you can just literally throw them into a pot and cook them, or you can use them in casseroles or stews or soups. So These are gonna probably be done in the next couple of weeks, and then I will take them all out and replant, and I just keep going with the beans and get as many beans as I can in a season because those are huge. Here are the peas that we planted in that video as well. As you can see, I talked about how I put these here so that they can trellis up, and that's exactly what they're doing. If I come in here, you can see like they just wrap all the way around here. So those are good support. Instead of individually staking them, this is a perfect way. Chicken wire or cow trellis would work great for that as well. Here we've got our peppers. These are super exciting because we already have peppers. We started these in the house in like February, so here we have purple peppers. So that was an experiment this year. We've actually got quite a few purple peppers going on here. So that's pretty cool. We've got a couple over here. And then our green peppers have actually started over here. And then we've got some jalapeno peppers, some banana peppers, and I think just California peppers, but those are taking a little bit longer to go. So hopefully we'll see some of those soon. And then more beans. We got more beans over here. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's just beans galore. This is a little bit interesting. So we have 4 zucchinis over here in the corner. And then we have another 3 over here. Now, this is the difference between starting inside and starting right to the ground, direct sowing right into the ground. So these ones were started probably 3 to 4 weeks before they came outside. And this is the size that we have already. And then these were planted May 24. So that's the size difference. Something to consider when you are planting. You might want to start things inside. There are like you can direct sow them into the ground, no problem, and these will be fine, and we will still get zucchini just a little bit later, maybe about a month later. But yeah, so something to consider. Here, this epic fail. These were those yucca lettuce seeds, the iceberg lettuce. Not a single seed germinated. I have no idea why. Could be a number of factors, but nothing germinated. So we just tilled it and put peas in there. So I am having some ground break on the peas here. So that was just actually 3 or 4 days ago. So I'm hoping in the next couple days we will have all of our pea shoots. I can trellis them out and I guess have some more peas because yeah, that was a fail. I'm not sure if it was the seeds or the soil. I really don't know. Here are the cucamelons. So remember I did a video on cucamelons. I actually just re-trellised these last night. I just did a TP trellis as they were starting to vine all over the place, and so we're going to train them to go up these, and then once they are big enough I'm going to take this trellis out and put in a bigger TP trellis. That's what I want to try with these, is the TP this year. So that's that. And then we've got our cucumbers. Our cucumbers aren't doing very great. We had a frost like May 31st, and they did get a little bit of frost damage on them. I have to come out here and just kind of prune that off. So hopefully they're still okay. Everything's a little droopy right now because it's, like I said, 39 degrees out. And then we've got our tomatoes. We've got our chocolate sprinkles, which I'm super excited to try this year. If you don't know what they are, they're little grape tomatoes about this size, and they're completely brown, and they're supposed to be super sweet. That's why they name them chocolate sprinkles. I also just planted a Cherry Falls tomato just kind of in the middle here. And I just planted yesterday a beefsteak in the back. I also planted a couple of sunflowers along the back of the fence there. So like I just planted like a couple in the corner there, a couple in the corner there, just to see how the sunflowers sprouted back here. So yeah, I've got my bird feeding station. That's doing okay. I've pretty much taken off the hummingbird feeder is still up, but I've taken out the hummingbird feed because it's so hot out. It would just spoil in the matter of a couple hours anyways. And the only other thing to show you actually is those potatoes. I moved the potatoes from the patio. I was just kind of getting sick of having so much stuff on the patio, but check these out. These are doing so well in these bags. So if you remember, the one is a white russet potato, like the big potatoes, and then the other one is the little nugget potatoes, the Yukon Golds. But yeah, they're just doing so well in these bags. I'm so surprised. So far, I mean, good review on the bags. I think what's going on here is like when you water them, it's allowing, the felt bag doesn't just sit and retain the moisture. It's actually allowing it to come back out. So yeah, like these are doing so well. I haven't even really watered them all that much. I came out a couple days ago and they had just completely taken off. So felt bags for potatoes, like 100%. Get yourself a pair of these. Like I said, they sell them even on Wish for as cheap as like $5. So why not? So yeah, so that is my garden tour of my raised garden beds back here. I would love to add more, but I think my spouse might kill me for one, and for two, we do have dogs, so we do need to leave some space for them to go to the bathroom. But yeah, oh, I do have, and I did in the strawberry videos, like I have the strawberries on the fence, like we had talked about, but they're doing quite well. The only mistake I made with the strawberries is I only planted one plant per container, and so I've got like 8 strawberries per container, which I mean is good. I'm gonna harvest them all and it'll give me a couple, like 2 bowls of strawberries. But if you do have a bigger family, you're gonna wanna like pack as many as you can in there. Next year I definitely am gonna do 3 to 4 plants per container so that we can have a full container of berries. But yeah, I actually haven't had to, considering I have a bird station and I have like birds under here all the time, I haven't had to net them this year, which has been really nice. So fingers crossed it stays that way, but I'm sure it won't once they see all that fresh fruit. So thank you so much for joining me. Next time we are going to get into composting. I have been composting in a coffee can inside under my sink with my kitchen scraps, and I finally came over and did the actual bins. So my next video is going to be all about composting at home for under $10. So that's going to be a really cool video. Stay tuned, and thanks again for joining us. Bye-bye.